Hi, I'm Kara Casanova, and I'm the author of the children's storybook, Elvis the Penguin, which I'm pitching to you today. As you watch this video, I'd like for you to keep in mind that Elvis the Penguin is to the Elvis Presley estate what the recent Peanuts movie was to the Charles Schulz estate, a way of introducing children to an iconic brand that has lost brand recognition among children today, Generation Z, and their millennial parents. Here's the story in brief. A baby penguin is born at a wildlife habitat on the grounds of a hotel in Las Vegas, and he's born with a pompadour. He is named Elvis, obviously, and he's welcomed by the flock, and he soon learns about his famous namesake. The flock gathers around Elvis, and he asks, "Who is Elvis Presley?" And they all start talking at once. "Oh, he was a hunk of burning love," says one of them. "He was the king of rock and roll." "I'm named after someone famous," says Elvis. "Wow, I want to be famous too." "You'll have to learn all of Elvis's songs, and you have to curl your lip. And you have to have smoldering eyes." "What are smoldering eyes?" Elvis asked. "I don't know, but you'll have to have them. It's probably important." "Then I better get busy," said the baby penguin. "I've got a lot to learn." Elvis's first attempts at fame are disastrous because he's just a babe in the world and he doesn't know how to make this big dream come true. So he and his sidekick, they just stumble innocently into trouble at every turn. He tries to paint his feet blue to mimic blue suede shoes, and he attempts to escape the habitat to get onto stage, but is caught by the maintenance man, who's an evil, evil man, and jailed for an attempted escape. At Lucy's suggestion, Elvis turns to a gang of penguins who had been transferred to the habitat from the Bronx Zoo. These are real New York characters. The leader of the gang is a squinty-eyed wise guy named Mario. And he has some of the funniest lines throughout the story. When he first sees Elvis, he says, "Hey, what's with yous and that hairdos?" Elvis strikes a deal with the gang to get him a hound dog, and Mario warns him, "All right, Pipsqueak, yous got a deal. But if yous get caught by the authorities with a hound dog in the habitat, yous don't know me. Capiche?" Well, nevertheless, the bad boy gang bungles the hound dog job and lands Elvis into another hilarious hot mess. Afterwards, a despondent Elvis is giving up on his dream. But then, a beautiful showgirl visits the habitat and sweetly inspires him to continue on with his dream. Again, Elvis turns to Mario for help. Mario plans a diversion that will cause enough chaos to get Elvis out of the habitat. But for Mario, the real goal of the whole diversion is to get back at Maintenance Man for previous offenses. And boy, do they get him back. In the confusion, as Elvis dashes for the gates to escape the habitat, Mario again comes out with one of his really great lines. He hollers to him, "Break a leg, or I'll have one of my boys do it for you." Many plot twists throughout the story reference Elvis's songs: Blue Suede Shoes, Hound Dog, Heartbroken Hotel, and also throughout the story are humorous use of iconic references to Elvis, such as the curling of the lip and wiggling his hips and smoldering eyes. Elvis the Penguin has earned rave reviews, including a very hard-to-get, glowing review from Kirkus Reviews. They called it zany, rollicking, and an undeniably fun children's book. They also called it a whimsical, heartfelt picture book about a little bird with a surprisingly big dream. Last year alone, I read Elvis the Penguin to over 15,000 school children. Elvis gets teased because of his pompadour. He's different. He doesn't have hair like all the other penguins do. I built anti-bullying and social tolerance platforms based on the book and brought that to elementary schools throughout Louisiana and Florida. During National Anti-Bullying Month, my hometown of Baton Rouge hosted Elvis the Penguin Week. Don't be cruel, no bullies in school. And it was a huge program throughout all the school systems. Our performing arts school turned it into a play with the second grade class performing it. At events, children always ask me, when is there going to be an Elvis the Penguin movie? Children relate to Elvis. They laugh at his foibles. They become angry when he's bullied and crestfallen when he struggles and fails. And then they cheer him on for success. I've literally had auditoriums of children stand up, yelling and screaming and clapping their hands when he succeeds. Elvis the Penguin has two enormous markets. Throughout the world, there are 50 million Elvis Presley fans. Think about that number. 50 million. I had no idea there were so many fans in the world. And even more astonishing than that is the fact that there are Elvis events ranging from small events to large festivals that draw thousands going on around the world 24/7, 365. The baby boomers who make up the majority of the 50 million fans throughout the world will take their grandchildren to see this movie, partly to satisfy their own sense of nostalgia, but mainly because they've never had a child-friendly way to share Elvis with children in their lives. The second bigger market is the general children's market. Millennial parents buy this book, and they'll take their children to see a movie about a sweet, adorable character striving to make a dream come true. Everyone loves an underdog, but a penguin underdog? That's just simply irresistible. Now, let's get down to some business. First of all, I am the author and the publisher of Elvis the Penguin. I own the work in its entirety. Secondly, I have been working with Authentic Brands Group, who is the large New York company that purchased the licensing from the Elvis Presley estate a few years ago. They've issued to me an unconditional license to sell the performance rights to Elvis the Penguin with their full authority and backing. Once I've sold the performance rights, they will then facilitate merchandise development with Hasbro, Mattel, Lego, et al. It's hard for us to imagine that icons like Charlie Brown and Snoopy and Elvis have lost brand recognition among children, but it's true. I've read to thousands of children, and when I ask if they've ever heard of him, only about 10% of them raise their hands. They're completely unaware of the enormous musical contribution that Elvis made. Elvis the Penguin is the perfect medium to introduce children to Elvis and his music. The goals of the Peanuts movie were twofold: introduce Generation Z to the Peanut Gang and generate box office proceeds. It has earned $246 million worldwide so far. Elvis the Penguin has the potential to earn just as much as the box office as the Peanuts movie. For many reasons, this project is an ideal situation for a studio to walk into. It has everything. A great story, which kids love, social values, distinctive and colorful characters, lots of action and humor, fun dialogue, enormous markets that would support Elvis the Penguin at the box office, and a major player like Authentic Brands Group ready to play ball. I hope that you will take this project, develop it into a film, and I hope to hear from you very, very soon. Thank you for your time.